Now, President Trump continues to be the most unpopular new president in modern history. A Gallup poll has found out that the President Trump's approval rating has fallen to 37%. His worst approval rating that I believe he has ever had, while his disapproval rating has hit a record of 58%. So he is not a popular person. He is not a popular president. Sad. Now, Trump's current approval rating, by the way, is lower than any other commander-in-chief at this point in his first term since Gallup started tracking the issue back in 1945. So, yeah, disaster. Epic. Now, the question here is, really, how low can you go? How low can you go? Apparently pretty low. But do you think that he could actually see less than 25% disapproval rating? Remember, George W. Bush holds the record of hitting the most, being the most unpopular president in modern history. Do you think Donald Trump could hit that? I actually think he could. Now, that's not actually the worst thing about this poll. And here's where I go after the Democrats. You realize the Democratic Party polls worse. Polls worse than Donald Trump still, even at his lowest rating. Now, there's a recent Suffolk University poll out last week that showed the Democrats holding a 36% approval rating. Hillary Clinton holding a 35% approval rating. So here's the issue, right? While Donald Trump is incredibly unpopular, you have the Democrats that are actually faring worse. How is that even possible? How did we get to this point? It's insane. I mean, look, this would be a perfect time for the Democrats to send their message. I mean, we've got a budget right now that crushes poor people, crushes the middle class, and we have a healthcare plan put forward that, again, crushes the poor and crushes the middle class. Isn't there like an opportunity here to win back some support by actually putting forward progressive ideas? You would think so. Instead, what we have is a focus on identity politics and a focus, I think, too large of a focus on what's going on with the possible ties between Donald Trump and Russia. Yes, they are kind of important, and if anything useful, any news comes out about that is actually newsworthy, maybe you should cover it. It's kind of an important thing. But look, on that, I don't have any evidence, but I do think there's some sort of financial deal between Donald Trump and the government of Russia. Rex Tillerson might be a bit of an example of that. Again, in order to get rid of those sanctions put in place by the Obama administration and allow a $500 million oil deal to go through. But anyway, no, the problem is that the Democrats right now are doubling down on the same failed strategy they did during the campaign. Now, what is that strategy? Well, it's attacking Donald Trump in his character instead of actually talking about the issues that the American people want. In that same Suffolk poll, the number one thing people wanted Donald Trump to do was to get jobs, create jobs, or at least create a better atmosphere for people to be able to get jobs. That's the number one focus. Good paying jobs with benefits so that people can actually take care of their families. The other thing in the Suffolk poll is that people wanted health care. Not access to health care, whatever the hell that means, but actually health care. For example, keeping the ACA and making better changes to it so that the prices will go down instead of up. Regular people don't care as much about lowering taxes for rich people or how sexist Donald Trump is or whatever you want to talk about. See, Democrats, you got to start talking about the issues. Trump is failing because he doesn't talk about the issues. Trump Care example is a disaster in the making. We're not going to be winning with Trump Care, okay? It's a disaster. His budget cuts for Meals on Wheels and the people who voted for him they're just looking like, hey, wait a minute. You were put in here to help us, not hurt us. Well, this is a perfect time for the Democrats to say, don't worry, we'll help you. We'll expand your Social Security, for example. We'll save Meals on Wheels. We'll raise your wage. We'll do Medicare for all. We'll help your kids go to college. But they're not doing this. Instead, they're talking about how Trump is a racist and Russia, Russia, Russia. Well, Donald Trump is a racist. And there are some issues with Russia. But that's easy. That's easy to just focus on that all the time. What you actually want to do is to step up and defend the poor and the middle class against the wishes of the big money interests, the big corporate interests. The corporate interests that also support Donald Trump as well as the Democrats. And see, that's why the Democrats don't want to do it. Because they're still funded by big money. And that's, of course, unfortunately, since the Democrats won't go against their donors and actually put forward these progressive policies as a counterweight to Donald Trump. That's why they're less popular than Trump. That's why they're doing terribly, even under the worst president, the most disliked president in the United States since 1945. Come on, Democrats. Get your head out of your ass and stop being a disaster. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.